Hi, Conchetta. Finished watching all your clips. Sorry about that confusion, but what I typically do if I have a lot of clips, I think you have an iPhone, there's iMovie, and you can just click create movie and throw them all together, and then no editing, whatever, and just click export. And then that way you can just upload that to YouTube and send it to me, or however you prefer, but I found that to be easier. I'm gonna look at your reflections first. Yeah, great job bringing down the tone. That was definitely something I noted. Good job doing some exercises. What else? Yeah, it's typical. I mean, he's 11 years old. I kind of consider that 12 or 11 all littles. You know, they got busy bodies. So I'll talk more about that. Setting the expectations and stuff. But I think that's a great goal for more than 2 to 3 spells. And then eventually, you know, maybe 2 to 3 chunks. But also too, especially with that age or any age, like, I know it's hard because it's at your house and all his stuff, but I do always encourage them if they want to get up and move around whenever I'm reading, and just, you know, set the expectations at the beginning. Say we're going to do 30 minutes or 15 minutes. I'm going to read. I want you to spell 2 words in the chair, and then you can get up and I'll read more. We'll do 2 words. And then maybe after a few days, we'll do 3 words and we'll try 35 minutes or 30 minutes, and just really small, easy, achievable goals. And yeah, the eyes are definitely tired. Everything's tired. I mean, think how hard he's working for his body to cooperate. But it's totally normal, you know, part of this whole, some of the client case reviews, some of my clients, they get one of their like kind of 3 steps is just building that stamina. Like, you gotta work your way up, and it's slow and steady wins the race. And yeah, it's tough, you know, a lot of people might be super open or fluent with numerous CRPs, but even me, after doing this 6 years or so and being open with a lot of clients, no matter what, if I sat down with someone for the first time, I'd start on the 3 E's and work my way up. A lot of times everyone's journey is different, just like anything else in the world. So yeah, don't worry about the 26. Your time will come. Focus on those 3s. He's almost there. He's really barely doing mispokes. And once you're on the 3s, doing very little mispokes, then go to the 26. But when you go to the 26, remember it's a lot new motor. Yes, again, he's working on it with this other CRP, but with you and that relationship and the prompting and the regulation, and so many things come into play. So start heavily prompting, few spells, greens, oranges, and then I do greens or oranges in complete sentences, and then I try a little tight open. And typically you noted that next session you want to bring the cognition down if he's dysregulated, and I would suggest the opposite. Remember, a big part of this is these guys just have that much more capacity and brain power or access to their brain that a typical person, you know, would sit in a lecture room and take notes, and that's fulfilling enough. But when I worked at the school, we'd have kiddos listening to biology lectures and doing a puzzle or listening to a TED Talk or building a 3D whatever. So they always have that extra little bit. So the higher the better, really, any age, you know. I've had 8-year-olds request like stuff on general relativity. Not saying that they all do, but if or when a client seems to be dysregulated, like I guess it could be the topic, but I would just try and pick the most interesting, exciting, coolest, silliest little boy stuff you can find. Another big trick that I did at school with my coworkers was when everyone seemed to be getting a little cuckoo, we would read a book or a passage or a blog from a self-advocate, and just kind of hearing those words and their stories always brought the room down a little bit. But yeah, don't worry about the dysregulation. Maybe find something a little more challenging, whisper, even lower than whisper, and just keep pushing through. That's great. No smelling hair. I love that. And yeah, deep pressure and heavy work before we start is great. So yes, set your expectations for sitting, for spelling longer. Basically, it's just like what I said, just say it. I only want you to sit while we spell. Today, we're going to try and do 6 different chunks, 2 words each. Work as hard as you possibly can, like dig down deep, know that you are in control of your body, like you have a strong mind, strong body, but you tell it what to do. Just work as hard as you can. I'm going to give you as many prompts to try and stay in the chair, and we'll do greens or even a couple spells to warm up, just to take that motor and cognitive down. And I just want you to focus on sitting there for 2 complete words, and then as soon as I read again, go do your thing. He can definitely hold his toys, unless, I have plenty of kids that can hold it and poke and look at the boards, but it's a problem when they're looking at the toy, even though they do have crazy peripheral. But if that becomes a thing, then I might say, okay, put the fidget on the table, or I might put it behind my back, and I'll just say, sorry, I'm not taking away forever, just want to help, because I figure if it's in your eyesight, you might want to reach it. But again, just like the seated goal, just say, if I think this might be making it more challenging for you, so we're going to put this down for 2 words, and then it's all yours. I would wait for spelling on the big exercise ball. I did have some kiddos who had like a yoga chair, which was, the ball with a base on it. And some of them would kind of bounce and poke, but for now, while you're building all this relationship and pathways, I would try and get him in the chair as possible. But also, it wouldn't hurt, I guess, try 1 word, see if he bounces too much, see what his accuracy's like. If you can, videotape it, but ideally the chair is best, and then eventually you guys can work towards, a bench or a couch or whatever. But the chair just really, if he's in the bouncing chair though and not bouncing too much, and he still can get those knees 90 degrees, feet flat, and that nice arm motion, then I don't really see why not. But I used to have some students who would bounce so hard I thought they were bouncing out the roof. And let me see what I said. Yep, just a lot of compliments. Great job letting him do his thing while you read. I loved your gestural and directional prompts. Great pokes. Your tone was on point. And I think at one point you did a semi-open, maybe on the 26th or not. Sorry, I just watched a lot of videos. But careful, when you are breaking into that world, you really want to try and pick a semi that only has 2 options, and hopefully they're very far away from the board, so you have an idea on where he's going. And yeah, I say this to myself all the time, to everybody, all the parents, all the mentees, but watch it. It just comes out naturally. say no or nope if they misspoke. That just means that they need more prompts. They need to get their eyes down. And yeah, for that semi, if he wasn't technically going to one of the letters and you're like, nope, nope, wrong, let's keep moving, just be like, okay, I know you know these answers. There's 2 options. I need you to just think of those first 2 letters as hard as you possibly can. Block everything else out. I'm going to drop the board. Let me see your eyes on it. Find that letter you want, and, you know, minimal prompting. Let him go, hopefully, in somewhat of the area, and then say, all right, I know your word. And then you can prompt a little bit more because you know what he's going to say. And yeah, remember that once he is warmed up, no need to do spell words. So just a few in the beginning, and then when you're transitioning to the 6, maybe 26, maybe 1 or 2. Or if you have a very, very dysregulated person, sometimes I bring it down just for 1 or 2 questions to see if that helps them feel a little more centered and in control. Overall, though, great work. Let me know if you have questions.